As I stated, Mother Gothel is like the protective mother in the story. Even though she did steal Rapunzel just to maintain her youth, so like, yes, that would qualify as a villain. But again, she raises Rapunzel as her own. She looks after Rapunzel as if she were her own. She's not like another villain in another movie who has like this darker, lustful, sinful side as he's raising a hunchback. It's not like him at all. um, but anyway, as she's tracking down Rapunzel, she spies Eugene's two Goonies, and at which point I thought to myself, I know where this is going. So just have them meet conveniently. She negotiates with them, and of course, we get one of the most predictable aspects of a plot. But when she was negotiating with them, my opinion of her as a villain kind of grew. As I was sitting in my seat thinking this, oh, she's good. She's really good. But of course she's dealing with a pair of seemingly brainless guys. So of course she's going to negotiate them in a way that a villainess can. and after they track down Rapunzel and Flint and Maximus, who just allies with Flint and Rapunzel under the most interesting of terms. I find it hilarious that both Flint and Maximus are intimidated by Rapunzel's little chameleon pet. I find that hilarious because he's so tiny. Yet he knows how to keep the both of them in line somehow. Then after that, they finally make it to the city. They finally make it to the kingdom. And of course, they have a heck of a time. This is the part where, I really don't look at it as character development, but unveiling. Because upon meeting each other and making their way to the kingdom, Flint and Rapunzel kind of share a few things about each other. Flint shares that his real name is Eugene, that he's a peasant, and, or was at one point. But he took on the name Flint Rider because the guy was his hero, he was his idol. Flint Rider, had everything. He had riches, he could go anywhere, do it, whatever he wanted, and Eugene wanted that kind of life. So in short, he's an anti-hero. But, of course, while that was at first his purpose, when Gothel hands Rapunzel the crown and telling her to give it to Flint, see what happens, that he's going to change and betray Rapunzel and run off with the crown, I honestly expected that. I seriously did. But it didn't happen. When it didn't happen, and of course he allowed Rapunzel to keep the crown, telling her that he had a change of mind. It's like, wow. Wow. And this is where the comparison to Twilight came in, because as I mentioned in my first impression of the Twilight review, I expected Edward Cullen to kind of change due to Bella's affections over him. That affections over him and their interactions together. That actually plays out in this movie. Flint and Rapunzel actually gain a romantic connection due to their interaction with each other and the time they spent together. And of course, that right there completely won me over in saying that this movie was a snit. But of course, does Flint run off with the crown? No, he's forced to do it. That is also another element I didn't see coming. He doesn't run off with the crown. His minions force him to do it, at which point he's imprisoned, tried, and put on execution. And thus, cue the moment where the singing brutes come in as they come to his rescue. I love such moments. I'm a sucker for those kind of moments. When you think all's said and done and the hero's gonna get the axe, his humorous stooges come in to save him as they speed off to Rapunzel's rescue. And Gothel proceeds to, after baiting Flint, she stabs him, thus leaving him to die. And of course, as Rapunzel tries to use her healing powers of her hair, he cuts her hair off! Yeah, and this is the point where I figured I was struck stupid, because I should have seen that coming. I mean, it's a predictable plot element. Once the weakness is revealed, it's utilized. And, at which point, right then and there, for some odd reason, Gothel reverts to her elderly form. Which, after thinking about it, due to the delay of this review, I kind of thought to myself, we have a problem here. So, basically, in the midst of having... Oh, wait. I get it now. I do apologize, but I think I finally get it. Now, since the power of Rapunzel's hair was fading, so was the effect of its power on Gothel. It makes sense, because so long as it was active or available, so was her ability to retain its youth, since I guess the energy of the hair was keeping her young. And since that was fading, so was the effect. And thus, she reverts to dust. She falls out of the tower and reverts to a pile of dust. Now, at first, I thought to myself, okay, I understand that this is a kid's movie. But good Lord, she had been defying old age for quite some time. She had probably been a century old by that point, since after maybe that time, one's body would revert to dust after death. And so after that little moment, it's a happily ever after. And of course, they get married. So, was my final verdict of the movie? Well, I am afraid I am going to have to give this a 10 out of 10. It was that good. Now, MegaMind, on the other hand, is a different story. One teeny tiny aspect about, Rapunzel that I can relate to, and you can probably deem this significant if you want, but, when she finally gets out of the tower with Flint, she kind of goes through this little flip-flop sort of thing that really made me chuckle. This is how she's in the midst of enjoying herself, exclaiming how being outside of the tower is like the best day ever. And then the next minute she's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm out of the tower. My mother's gonna kill me. I was both laughing and facepalming at the same time because it's like, oh, I understand exactly what that's like. Because there are moments when I will leave to run some errand for myself, basically, whether I'll go job hunting or probably on rare occasions now comic book shopping. And I'll start enjoying the aspect of riding the bus or going on the dart rail and observing people. It's a little hobby I'm growing to like. And there are moments when it's like, this is one of the best days I've had. But then I think about how, not being at home, my little friend here could start chewing up stuff. Like pee on himself or poop in undesignated areas. And then there's worrying about my mother, having to take care of her and such. So yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. Until then. Also, if possible, I will be reviewing a Christmas comic, Sonic's Christmas Carol, maybe next Monday. Peace.